There we go. All right, Trish. So journaling is amazing. And I thank you for sharing those key points as well. And for those that's listening right now, I hope you're taking notes, maybe at the gym, you may be at school, no matter where you're at. I just want you guys to really take in and implement the information. And don't be stingy with it. Share it with a friend, share it with a colleague. But and honestly, because this young lady, she came from the bottom, literally, from ground up. To now look as a successful businesswoman and everything, but it didn't happen overnight. So the next question I really wanted to ask, being in a time where you had a business, but it didn't go as planned, so you decided to just give up on it. But at the same time, you had a child and you say, okay, I want to launch another business. It's like, what gave you that hunger and gave you just the drive to say, okay, being though I learned from this, lesson or so, now I'm gonna start this. And what can what can you advise to those who may just be getting started, who may be in a place of maybe women out there who is pregnant or so and maybe have a career path, but just don't want to take action, just afraid that it may not fall through for them. So if you can dive in, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wish I would love to say that I went from one business and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do another. This is going to be fun. But it was really the darkest time of my life in between them. What I had to learn through that experience was what failure actually meant. And, the biggest thing I feared was failure, and then it happened. And the biggest thing I learned from it is that I didn't die like I thought I would. But it hurt my ego. It really did. I was insecure. I thought everybody thought I was a failure. I felt like I was being judged by everybody. And at that same time I was having a child, I honestly had to recreate who I was because I didn't know who I was anymore. I had no identity to hang on to. I just lost my business, and now I'm a mother, and I just lost my, independence, as I would say, my freedom that I thought that I lost. I thought that everything was done at that point, because I also had an idea of what a mother should do, should be like. I didn't define it myself, but I had an idea, and that idea was crippling. It was limiting, and it was boxing to me. So I had, after realizing, wow, that doesn't feel good to box myself into this, and going through a few months of being pregnant, having to take care of my son, but still not taking care of myself because everything just doesn't feel aligned right now. I don't feel like I'm really using myself to the fullest potential. I know I'm meant for more, and I just felt like, is this it? Is this it? So it wasn't until I kind of was like, enough is enough. I can't keep doing this. This is not healthy. I can't keep going about it this way. And I had to really hit like rock bottom for me, which was like, I don't recognize who I am anymore. I can't connect with people anymore. I can't even talk or look people in the eye anymore because I can't see myself in myself. So if I look at you and you might see that, I was afraid of that. So it was just this whole, the determination, the drive came from just really not liking where I was at and not really wanting to live with that. I couldn't settle with that. I couldn't just be like, I allowed this to happen, and I allowed my life to just be as it is only. And not that there's anything wrong with motherhood. Oh my God, if anything humbled me, it was that motherhood is hard. For me, I thought, well, I'm just a mother now, but now I'm realizing how hard motherhood is, really, truly, the amount of selflessness required in it. But at the same time, how much it grows me too. So, for anybody who's really trying to figure out, like, how do I get started? Or if you even have an idea in you, you first have to, before you even like get started, you have to get over fearing people, fearing what people think about you, and fearing what people you don't even know think about you, or people who don't even talk to you. I was worried about everybody. Looking at anybody, I was like, they hate me, they don't like me, they judge. Like I was so, I was basically like letting all of my guards down and allowing myself to be attacked by anybody, even if they weren't attacking me. And that on its own was like something I realized I needed to build there. Because when I did my first business, I kind of stood in the shadows. I still wasn't going full force. I held back a lot. I was still, I wasn't playing full out. I still had one foot out the door anyways. That's why I left. That's why I gave up so quick. 1 year and I was like, done. Like, yes, motherhood is hard, but I had one foot out the door, if I had to be honest. And it wasn't until I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to put 2 feet in, meaning, and it doesn't mean quit all the things that you know got to do just to make it happen, but
Mm-hmm.
meaning just fully commit to whatever the journey is in front of you, and fully commit to all the things that are in your path right now. I realized that motherhood was just an assignment for me. It wasn't my identity. And I have so many other identities as well, and other assignments in my life. And we'll continue to move through life through our assignments. So I don't have to worry so much that I'm missing out on anything anymore. And I just kind of, whatever gets presented to me, I take it as like a sign and go now, you know, and I have not gotten the sign to stop yet. So I'm trying to make it work through, you know, really trusting that you're giving all these assignments to me at the same time for a reason here. And I'm meant to do it. I can do it. I'm built for it. So I just have to figure out a way and stumble my way through making it happen. It's not the most poised, let me tell you that. I've never been known to be poised.
Right.
So yeah, just being okay with being like being okay with stumbling through it. I think I thought I had to like really know how it was all going to pan out, and it wasn't. I didn't want to fall, you know, I wanted to make it look graceful, but it can get messy. It can get messy trying to juggle it all.
Wow. Wow. And how long have you been on this entrepreneur journey so far?
So it's been almost 4 years now, I guess. Holy, yeah,
Years.
four
Okay.
years.
And
Yeah,
accomplished so much within a little time. That shows a lot of heart. That shows a
yeah.
lot of patience and a lot of compassion in what you do. You know, turning your purpose into your passion into your profit. I love it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And when the little ones get older, they got something to tend to. They may not want to become an entrepreneur, but they're going to become something because they see how much their father and their mother put up with. They see how much they struggled and also came about with coming on top to feed the family. So I love it, Trish. Honestly, I'm no father, but I am an uncle, and I can relate, to this situation because our little ones need us. They are our future,
Mm-hmm.
and we must lead by example. And that's why this is an inspire before we expire. Not necessarily, oh, you could be here today, you could die tomorrow. But no, let's inspire each other. Let's not hate one another. Let's not,
Mm-hmm.
like what you're doing right now as a woman. And I believe like most of my audience and most of my supporters are women. And I love it. First, it started
Mm-hmm.
locally, now it's globally. And I'm sure you can relate as well, especially with you being women. But it may be opposite for you. Maybe a lot of men tend to you because women are so powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from you guys, and things of that nature. So I thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for being so much of a light and a powerful source in this thing called life, and leading other women by example and helping them find themselves by cultivating so many relationships and things of that nature, by helping them slay in business and stay in business because you knew what it felt like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those who want to give up, Trish, I mean, these women entrepreneurs, these women bloggers, and because they feel like things are not happening at this moment. Good for them. Nothing is taking off. What is some advice you would give to them, to just tell them just to keep going no matter what, you know? If you could
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite books I would recommend to anybody and everybody at any part of their journey is well, I'm sure there's some people at some point they kind of get it at that point, but it's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And it's a philosophy I prescribe to now. And it's just all about we're either on a slight edge of upward, or it's a slight edge going downwards. And we know by the daily simple disciplines that whether we're doing them or not. It's those little disciplines that are easy to do, but just as easy not to do, that make all the difference in our life. And oftentimes we think we need this big, hallelujah, this huge life turning event or moment to really just like, and then we'll be successful. But no, it's really a buildup of consistency of the little things that we can all do every day. And I heard a great quote from John C. Maxwell. He said, consistency compounds. And so I just want to say to anybody out there who's, if you feel like giving up, just do one thing. Do one thing differently tomorrow that will compound in the long. Plant seeds right now that will compound in the long term. And you have to trust that they're going to. If you're doing those things, you have to trust that they're going to manifest into what you want, because you've done it up to this point. You've done it up to this point, maybe not in the way you wanted to, but you didn't get here from one moment only. You got here from moments that compounded. So it's just the same way you to turn your life around, or to shift your results, or just to, go from feeling like you want to give up to feeling like you're on fire. It's a daily discipline of just the small things that anybody can do, but most times we're not willing to.
Wow, so powerful. I love that. The small things that anybody can do, but just we're not willing to. Wow, I believe you said it like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because
Wow.
it's like, I'll go to the gym. I won't go to the gym today. Nobody will know. Nobody will know, but and the more, it's because don't hold ourselves accountable to the little things that nobody will know, but you'll feel
Absolutely.
it.
I love it. So what's next for you? In the year 2019 and going forward, as you said, you've been on a journey, for 4 years now. So what's next? What's something you're really looking forward to? Any books coming out? Any upcoming courses you want to share with the audience or so? Some exciting news? Maybe a baby?
Yeah.
Nah, let me kid.
I don't plan those. Those show up when they need to show up for me, apparently. Yeah, no, for me, what's next is, honestly, right now we're really focusing on foundation. I'm always about foundation, but I don't ever feel like there's not enough. So we're really building the foundation for like the restaurant, and just even for my own business right now too. And that's really what I'm going to be bringing out more, is like, how can I support other women in building the foundation of their relationship with themselves, so that they could show up in their business how they need to and want to. Because we know it's, who you are. You have to be that person to do the things you want, to have what you want. And I really learned that firsthand, of really how to dive deep into yourself to show up as the mother, entrepreneur, woman, executive, anything that you want in your life. It starts by giving yourself that time and attention and discovering who you are. So the next thing that's going to be coming out here is, I do have an ebook in the works, and a new community that I don't have the details to share right now, but somewhere in there it's going to be about making sure that women can be accountable to those daily simple disciplines, and really just creating a community where we can all hold each other accountable to, the shifts that we're doing in every moment and every day. So that'll be coming out in 2019.
I love it. I love it. All righty. That's awesome. Folks, stay tuned for that. A lot of exciting things and projects from Miss Tricia. So Trish, wanted to ask you, I'm so sorry, I just forgot. I was so tuned in when you was talking, but
All good.
so why do you feel though community is important, like in today's age? Because if you look at it, as I believe it's always been important, but like you said, just women having a voice as well. But why do you feel deeply that it's important? Because you're not just you're not just creating a community of just you know of being a coach, but you're also in food and beverage business, and you run your own restaurant and everything, along with other things. You say you have an ebook coming out, and you're just creating a community of women, fabulous women, empowering women. Is like, wow, just to think about it. So why do you feel though community is important? And how do you also deal with the opinions of others? You know,
Mm.
uh,
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like for me, community was important because even as a new mom, a lot of us will know, or if you're stepping into that role, it can be lonely. You're homebound. You feel like you can't really get out and do the things that you wanted to as much. You can't connect as much. Maybe can't even relate as much. And so having the opportunity and the beauty of technology to allow us to connect to one another blew my mind, that I can still network and still meet people, and still, there's no excuse for me not to do the things that I want to do, because I can reach anybody at this moment. And to know that you're not alone. I think one of the biggest things I didn't anticipate that was going to happen was how many women I would connect with, that I would realize, holy, I've been through that. And wow, we all have been through this. And so I think community is important, just so that you feel like you're not alone, and then you want to support one another. You're there to support one another and give back to one another. It's just a way of knowing that we're all connected, we're all one. But with dealing with the pains of other people, that's where that's where I came back to kind of building my own force field, and not as a way of to keep people out, but to protect myself so that I can show up without being being hurt by your hurt. I can show up and see your hurt without being hurt by your hurt. I think that's the hugest thing, the hardest thing too, that I've had to learn. Because oftentimes people are projecting and we think that it has something to do with us, but it doesn't. Most of the times it doesn't. And so being able to learn, and that's still something I'm learning now, is being able to really master that emotional mastery when you connect with people. Because you can do that alone, and I can be happy alone, but the true test is when I'm connecting with other people, the community in the world, and going, okay, there's so much more dynamic to this, so much more depth to all of us. But if I can hold my ground and stay grounded in who I am, it doesn't matter how you show up to me, happy or sad. Like, I can still be who I choose to be in that moment versus reacting to how you are projecting.
Absolutely. I love that. That's amazing, honestly. And thank you so much for sharing. I wanted to take some time as well. I believe connection is a key as well. That's how we connected via social media, but also the man above, allowing two creative, driven, empowering, self-made people to come along and just along each other's journeys at the right time, and things of that nature, and just be in touch, and then just get on a project, a podcast, and a media, radio, any project that just brings value and can just touch another life and help that, not only empower, but get them people going, honestly, so they can be able to share their message and testimony. So I thank you so much, Trish. And I wanted to share some gratitude towards your way as well. Just thank you for devoting time out your busy schedule to be here, honestly, from here with it, and sharing so much gratitude, so much value, sharing your story from where it started, not being afraid to open up, stating that that you failed in business one time, but you didn't stop. You kept going and you allowed yourself to grow, with also being that parent that you need to be, that phenomenal, also being that wife, that phenomenal wife, and being in business together and being able to create a foundation, creating a legacy, and it's continuing, within a short period of time. So I love that, and I thank you so much, and I look forward to really, really creating a great relationship with you, my friend, honestly. So before we get out of here in a couple minutes, there's something else you wanted to share with our audience? You just let go. As you let go, you allow flow, right?
Yeah. I think that
I
if there's
actually got
anything
that.
yeah.
I'm going to cut you. I actually got that. You mentioned Joel earlier when I was in one of his courses. Emil, another one of my guys. He said, as you let go, you allow flow. So I ran with it ever
Yeah.
since.
Love it. Love them. Love the two of them. They're great people.
Yeah.
If there's only one thing that I'd want to leave it off with, it's just, I mean, when you say all these things, I'm like, whoa, am I like this phenomenal mother and all these things? And you know what? And this is a reminder to myself and to everyone out there, not be so hard on yourself with wherever you're at and all the things you're figuring out, because we're just all figuring it out. You're not going to know all the answers. So allowing yourself, forgiving yourself for the things when you forget or mess up, and then allowing yourself to create every moment as if it's new. I said that before. I actually said it on my stories before I came on here, because it just came up for me. I'm like, I'm coming on doing a podcast interview, but I want to let you guys know that every moment can be new. And I do believe that, because it takes off the pressure of feeling like you need to figure out life in this moment. But through each moment, you can pick the pieces together. Again, you can learn in every moment. And that's been the biggest thing that's been able to help me, is being willing to have it be messy and messing it all up, and maybe doing some things wrong, and then being able to learn from it, and making sure that I don't make the mistake twice, or I keep, making sure that I'm improving at every moment. So focusing on improvement over perfection is huge for women out there who try to put everything on their shoulders at the same time.
So you got to pace yourself, right? Just take time, Wow. Hey, thank you so much, Trish. So I usually end it off like this, I wanted to ask, because you do a lot of speaking engagements and presentations and panels and things time for time, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Along with always working with groups of women and entrepreneurs and things. So you have your last speech, right? I'll give you 30 to 40 seconds. Be anywhere in the world, but you're around some other women, entrepreneurs, business execs, but also some millennials, and I wanted to ask what exactly would those words be within that 30-second to 40-second range to that group? It's your last presentation.
I would say don't let anybody tell you what your life can be but yourself. And if you don't see something out there that looks like the way that you want it to be done, then create it. You know, we're not here to copy one another and to be the same. We're here to shine our light and be the way we're supposed to be, and to show our unique gifts. So if there's something in you that's dying to come out, but it doesn't look like you can see it anywhere else, then create it, because it's needed. And if you have it in you, then somebody else is looking for that example too. So don't wait for an example, be the example, I would say.
Wow, to sum it up, don't wait for the example, be the example.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So have you enjoyed your time, Trish?
I did. Thank you. It was so great to really chat with you. And I honestly do want to have another call with you again to learn more about you. It's taking everything in me not to dive into you, because that's who I am usually, but I really do appreciate you giving me this space here and letting me share and put the message out there. So yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, you're welcome. We're not done yet.
Okay. Okay. I can keep
Almost,
going.
almost,
I can keep
almost,
going.
almost. But so what is success to you, Trish?
Success to me is joyfully expanding. Success to me is enjoying the process of reaching the destination where I want to go. It's being at peace with where I'm at right now while still raising my standards and growing. It's this like being here while wanting to be, while still wanting to grow and be more and do more. That's success to me, because if I'm just chasing one thing but I'm never present, that doesn't feel good to me. That's not fulfilling for me. But if I'm only present here and there's nothing more that I'm contributing or giving out, and was it a quote from Audrey Hepburn? She said, "You have two arms, one to help yourself and one to reach out and help another." And I do
Mhm.
believe that. So success to me is being able to use both of those hands to help myself and to help others.
Wow, I love that. A helping hand is always good, right? I see that you reference quotes a lot. You must
I
like
love,
read a lot. So
yeah, I do.
who is somebody like, who really inspires you, as an entrepreneur? It could be
Mm,
anybody. Honestly, it could be a scientist, like somebody just
yeah,
that inspires you the most, maybe a family member, right? So
yeah. Um, definitely definitely my dad. He inspires me a lot, just to like do what makes you happy and do the best that you can at it. He's just been a man who, he never cooked a day in his life, and all of a sudden now he has had a restaurant for 12 years. Like he's the kind of man, like throw me in any situation and I'll do the best at it, and I'll be damn good too. So
mhm.
he's always been my inspiration, and my mom too, because she's just been this wild dreamer that it's funny to me when she tells me to tone it down, but I'm like, I got this from you. But other than that, with the reading, oh, I just love. I don't think there's anybody I can't learn from. To be honest, I think that there's something I can take away from everybody, and that's something I noticed, that when I connect with people, I am always trying to find that thing that that we all don't know, and I want to dive deep and really, I want you to express that, because you might not even think it's an amazing breakthrough or something that people need, but I love finding that in people. So I try to learn from everybody that I listen to. But podcasts, Tony Robbins has always been obviously a great mentor. I love all the old school, Bob Proctor, um, John C. Maxwell, Brian Tracy. I love all the old school. I love new school. To be honest, like I said, I can't not learn from anybody.
Right. I think is like, and it's out there too, right? Because we get to read, but like you say, we're willing to, but sometimes we don't want to.
Yeah.
So I think we should read more, for my listeners that just listening, not implementing information. We should study more and also connect. with those
Yeah.
who are at places we desire to get to, or just be around a positive circle. Maybe this person can help you in the environment you in, where you're working at. You want to, there's always room for growth because everyone may not be meant and built for entrepreneurship, to have
Mm-hmm.
their own business, but it's always a way where you can build somewhere else, help that company grow, and then you may see your way, right? So
Yeah.
I think is fantastic that you mentioned just everything that you're involved in, where it started to who you are now, and still going,
Yeah.
honestly. And I know a lot of women are inspired by you, and that's why I asked who inspires you.
Mm.
And I know a lot of women are inspired by you, and it's probably women that's
Mm.
listening right now. Maybe when you share the episode and people click on Spotify, iTunes, and everything, listen to, wow, Trish, you just told us in the story. You got, yeah, because she's a woman of action,
Mm.
and everything like
Yeah.
that. So that gives the next woman that's in your group, or somebody that you coach, somebody that's in your business, or maybe somebody that you employ in your restaurant business, to get the go of take the step, take the leap.
Yeah.
Knowing you have good people around you, you're working for a good environment. I
Yeah.
know where it started. Don't think it started peaches and cream because I own a restaurant because this. No, it was
Mm-hmm.
very, very draining. It was a challenge. It was muddy along the way. But one thing I didn't continue to do was slip. I continued
Yeah.
to hold my pivot and kept going. And that's what you did, Miss Tricia
Yeah.
Nguyen.
Yeah.
So you should give yourself a hand clap on the back,
Thank you.
honestly. So I want you just to leave it off with your social media and your website and everything else. Everybody else can find you on.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to add right before I say that one thing. If somebody, I feel like I can hear some voices in my head going, well, what if I can't afford to find mentors and blah, blah, which I totally understand. Because when I
Oh
made my
yeah,
first, when I made my first investment too, I was like, where is this going to come from? But just a reminder to everyone out there that you can learn from any, but especially the best way that we can learn is to how we connect with one another and how we interact with people and their responses to us. Not always taking all that to personally, but honestly, my kids are my biggest teachers. They tell me and show me when I'm holding things out. I'm trying to control too much, when I'm trying to, when I'm holding up resentment or anger in me. Like, they show me that in so many ways. They're my biggest teachers, that I could never learn that from a book. I could never learn that because this is instant feedback. So
absolutely.
something just to put out there, that if you feel like, you can't, you don't have the time to read, you don't have the time to, you're not creating the time to read, you're not creating the time to really learn from other mentors, is start by learning where you're at right now with the people who you're around, and be willing to be open to learning. Um,
Indeed.
but yeah, so my social handles, you can find me on Instagram at Fierce Fab Life. That's where I do spend most of my time when I have time to spend time on social media. And then also on Facebook at My Fierce Fab Life. And then my website is myfiercefablife.com. And I really do hope that all of my content sparks inner fire in women, but also gives them permission to show up however that looks like for them, and to take action in whatever that is that they want to pursue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that, especially what you're saying, connecting with your kids and just knowing that, you are the hero, you already look
Mm-hmm.
up to. So for example, like you said, some people, and I've came across that at a young age, and then I get, young clients and these people that say, man, I get a price. But it's also the best investment you can make is you. Sometimes it may not be about a dollar. It could be the relationship you building,
Yes.
and things of that nature. But so yeah, it was awesome. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
good
Like
times.
it was awesome. I thank you so much for your time. Like honestly, and that's where they can find, like, for women that's seeking for coaching and mentorship, they can find everything on your website, right?
They can find on my website. They can just DM me on Instagram. I have a lot of women who just kind of reach out. I'm an open book. If you want to message me on any of the platforms, I love just connecting. I love chatting. And most of the women I know firsthand before I end up working with them, because I love just building relationships. So if you ever just want
Absolutely.
to connect, have a question you want to ask, like, I'm here. So just reach out. But yeah, definitely on my
Awesome.
website, you can find my contact. So
She also has a restaurant as well in Canada, for
yeah,
those
yeah.
who are passionate about food and
Yeah,
beverage and hospitality business, reach out, y'all.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah. We
Hey,
plan
Trish,
to, the goal is to expand worldwide,
it's
so we'll
been,
see.
I love it. You will. It's been awesome, and thank you so much for your time. I know I said it before, but thank you, honestly,
You're
and
welcome.
all the best on your continuous success on all your endeavors and everything that you're doing in life. And definitely look forward to having you back on the show again to spice some more and fuel some more into the flames of others. So
Okay.
definitely, thank you so much for your time. I'm Terrell Sumter. She's Tricia Nguyen from the Fierce Fab Life business,
Yeah.
right? There you
Yeah, yeah.
go. You know,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
and this is the Inspire Before We Expire podcast, and we're out.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome.